Hi YouTube, my name is Paul. Hope you're all keeping well. I'm back today then with another video. This time it's a pickups video, mostly Amiga and Amstrad titles, and a Spectrum one just for good measure. A lot of these games I've been after for a very long time, and it's kind of waiting for the right opportunity when it's either got great quality and a great price, but it never seems to be both. It always seems to be one or the other. So without further ado, the first game I have is Guts, which I picked up from an online retailer, retrogames.co.uk, as per usual. It cost me 20 quid this one, so it's quite steep again for a Spectrum game, but it's quite an unusual one to get hold of. It's got a really strange sort of backstory to it. You've been swallowed, eaten alive by an extremely hungry 10 million ton being the size of the moon. It's on its way to eat Earth, and you're inside the being trying to get out, or trying to destroy it then get out. So yeah, haven't really played it, haven't loaded it just yet, but really pleased to have it because it's quite an obscure title. Developed by Special Effects, who brought us The Untouchables, Midnight Resistance, Batman: The Cape Crusader, amongst other titles. Next up is the Amstrad CPC Disk games. So a lot of these are arcade conversions. And US Gold, back in the day when they released their conversions, they tended to brand their particular arcade manufacturers, didn't they? So Capcom games came in these purpley boxes. This is Tiger Road. It's half decent conversion on the Amstrad. Not really spent a lot of time on it. I have played it on the Amiga, and the Amiga version's not bad, albeit a bit slow and a bit jerky. Another one is Leadstorm, again for the Amstrad. These all come from the same seller. I think the whole bundle of games cost me about £35. There are more downstairs which I'm not keeping. But yeah, not bad. This version doesn't look like a straight port from the Spectrum, which is always a bonus if you're an Amstrad owner. Again, another US Gold title. This is another different colour branding. This is Sega this time, which came out in these lovely bright kind of orangey red boxes. Now funny enough, this is not an arcade conversion, but it's probably the best game, Outrun game, on the home computers, because Outrun generally was crap no matter what you played it on the home computers. Obviously the console versions were better, but Turbo Outrun also suffered a similar fate. I know for definite on the 16 bits Turbo Outrun was quite crap. I don't know what it's like on the Amstrad, but unfortunately Outrun Europa is not great on the Amstrad, but it's not bad on the ST and the Amiga. I'll shut up. Right, Dark Force is next, which is a compilation. Looks like it was bundled with some hardware because there's no barcode or anything on it, and contains Nightbreed the action game and Midnight Resistance. Another one of those special effects games. So yeah, not bad, pleased to have that. And the final game out of this bundle to show you is another double pack, but this time it's Double Dragon 3, and you've guessed it, it's Rodland. A game I'd love to have on the Amiga, but the Amiga version does command a decent price. Lovely. There's two more standalone Amstrad games I bought from individual sellers. The first one is a game called V, which is based on an old sci-fi program from the 80s, one I never watched back in the day. Look at that ugly mug on that. Lovely, looks like someone's just bursting. But yeah, very obscure title. I absolutely love these cases, I think they're brilliant. Got two more to the collection. Now there's this one and Green Beret. So V cost me 27 quid, this cost me 30 quid off an eBay seller. A Green Beret on the Amstrad looks completely different to the Spectrum version, which was the one I played back in the day. The Spectrum version is probably one of my favourite games on the Spectrum anyway, but the Amstrad version plays slightly differently and looks different. So I've not really played it for too long, but it looks pretty good, to be honest. It looks more true to the arcade than the Spectrum version does. But that's it from the Amstrad titles. Like I said, these are very opportunistic purchases, especially the Amstrad stuff, because I don't deliberately collect for it, apart from anything related to Ocean. Right, onto the Amiga stuff then. So probably 5 or 6 of these games, I think there's 5 of them, came from the same seller. So he recently listed loads of games. Unfortunately, he didn't display any pictures, so each of these games I bought were just based on the fact that I wanted those games, hoping they'd turn out to be alright. But only one of them wasn't alright, the rest of them are really good. So first up is a game I've been after for years. I had it on the ST, well I had a demo of it on the ST, and really enjoyed it. It doesn't come up very often at all, if you're lucky once a year, especially in the full price box version. But yeah, the game is Venus the Flytrap. This cost me 30 smackaroons. Not a bad game. platformer. You are the fly trap. It's a mechanical thing. I think the world's gone mad. Yeah, I think you're trying to restore the ecological order. It's good. It's a very good game actually. Got an amazing soundtrack on the Amiga. But really pleased to finally have it after all these years. Next up is another game I've been after for the Amiga for a flipping long time. I recently got it on the Atari ST. This copy though, unfortunately, is not the prettiest one. It's Magic Pockets, but as you can see it's full of tape. Now if you've ever held these boxes for Magic Pockets, I think the other game they've done like this was Gods. The boxes are very flimsy. So what I'll do now is use my ST and Amiga variants to hopefully one day pick up you can see what I mean by the box, to pick up a really nice copy. Again, this cost me 30 quid, which is probably a bit too much. If I'd seen the picture, I wouldn't have bought it at all. But I thought, I'm going to have you little sod, so I bought it, and then unfortunately it's a bit like that. A bit like a CEX purchase. This next one then is quite an interesting one. It's got a bit of a backstory to it. The game was originally released as a different title. It was pulled from sale because it looked like R-Type. Interestingly, this one looks like R-Type as well, but the game was called Catechist, so I think it literally got released and pulled. And it's quite an obscure title to get hold of. It was obviously officially released, but can fetch twice as much money as this one. This one is Donaris, which is obviously the reissue. The artwork is roughly, I think it's roughly the same. I just think that spaceship is coming from a different direction on Catechist. They're supposed to have redrawn the levels, so it didn't look like R-Type, but amazingly it still looks like R-Type. But yeah, I was quite surprised how similar it actually flipping looked, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if you can see from the screenshots there, but definitely collectible based on the fact it's got a bit of a backstory. And it's set me back 50 quid, which is probably about the going rate for this game, to be honest. All these games luckily load, which is I'm really pleased with, and it's only the Magic Pockets game that wasn't in particularly great shape. Now, this is another game I've been after for ages, but it always seems to go for more than you expect it to go for. And that's Indie Heat, which is a championship sprint clone, if you like. Graphically very good. You can play up to, is it 3 players? Don't know how you do that, to be honest. Maybe not, maybe it's just 2 players, maybe I was just dreaming. But that's a really good game, really enjoyable top-down racer. Right, so one more from the same seller. I did a spotlight video recently on its sequel. I've got this already on the CD32, but I really wanted it on the Amiga, like the old school version. Do you know what I mean? No A1200 stuff, just literally as nature intended. So really pleased to have that. Unfortunately, a little bit of sticker peelage there. Being on a black box, you can obviously see the shelf wear more prominently than you would on any other colour. But really pleased to have this back, to be honest. I think Pete Snaztastic kind of influenced me somehow with that. Right, this one was my only Facebook page pickup. This was from Amiga Sales, I think it's called. I bought off of Facebook before, but not very often, and to be honest I've never had a bad experience. This is Pirates, which is an Amiga staple. But yeah, never really played this. I've got it on the CD32, which is called Pirates Gold. Yeah, really nice condition, but I've got to get stuck into this and give it a go because it's supposed to be very good. But yeah, that's that one. But lastly, but certainly not least, is the Psygnosis game. So, like I said, there's 4 left to get. There's 3 left after this one. Copy of it there's 2 copies on eBay. One was up for about 70, I think. One was up for 60. One person I offered I don't know, 50 quid for. He just said no. The other person offered 50 quid for. They said yeah, which I don't think it's worth 50 quid, but the game is called Exit, which came out quite late in the Amiga's commercial life. Not a particularly good game either, but I've got it, which is great. So I'm still left Bob's Bad Day, which is up on eBay still at 80 quid. Arena and Chrono Quest. So that's it. Once I've got those 3, that'll be it. But yeah, really pleased to have that because that's quite hard to get and doesn't come up very often. That's it for my pickup video. I've got more pickups, but I can't show them until I show my next batch of collection videos. So I've had some more CD32 purchases, especially more around sort of upgrades more than new games, to be honest. We'll be doing another collection video soon. That'll be next month. That'll be my Mega CD collection, then followed by the 32X FM Towns and CD32. But that's it, so thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for subscribing, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.